3, 2, and 1.
Welcome to the Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife.
And we're going to go live again one more time. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.
Welcome to the Game Case, a show for, well, anyone that plays World of Warcraft. The show rife with ramblings, tips, tricks, and goings-on in WoW. Here's your host, Chris Case.
Well, hello, hi, howdy, and welcome to episode 46 of the Game Case. I am Chris, also known as Cuddles, a brewmaster monk on Airy Peak in the Convert to Raid Guild. This week, we're going to talk a little bit about our week in Blizzard Gaming, answer some questions from the Cuddle crew, and even talk a little bit about some extremely late-breaking news. But then we're going to talk with a raid lead of one of the top raiding guilds in Convert to Raid. She's an amazing Farah. She measures things and sneezes. And she's one of my favorite people. I'm sure she'll be one of yours, too. Miss Wicked Della. Wicked, how are you doing tonight?
Achoo! No, I'm kidding. Hey, guys. I'm doing good. How are you, Cuddles?
I'm doing well. It's been a good day so far. But
I'm glad to hear that.
not nearly as glad as I am. I'll tell you that. It's just been just a big bouquet of roses today.
Hey, it's better to be roses than something else that doesn't smell as pleasant.
Very, very true. Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you so much for taking some time out of your very busy schedule. How was your week of life this week?
It's not been bad. Worked a lot. Got in a little Overwatch and a little more Overwatch and a little more Overwatch. I logged into WoW maybe about 10 minutes this week, maybe a little longer. Yeah, I haven't been playing much lately. Been doing a lot of Overwatching.
Well, that's okay. I think a lot of people are kind of in that boat. I know my week has been super crazy, and I think I got in a little bit more Warcraft than that, but not by much. But speaking of gaming, what have you been up to? Just a lot of Overwatch?
Just a lot of Overwatch, actually. Not been doing much raiding for the past couple of weeks, but it happens. It's that point in the expansion. Right on.
That's what I know. I have been Overwatching with you quite frequently.
Yes, you have.
I due to some work issues, I missed raiding with Bacon and Kegs this weekend, unfortunately. And then due to those work obligations, that actually, so Tuesday, for anybody that keeps up with the podcast on iTunes or over on YouTube, I normally have this show out on Friday or at the latest on Saturday. Well, Tuesday rolled around and I realized that I didn't have the show up yet. So I was like, okay, well, I stream at 9 p.m. I'll jump on the stream and I'll edit the podcast, right?
Yeah.
It'll take like maybe an hour and a half that I'll play some Division. Because that just launched and, that's awesome. Well, yeah. I ended up editing the podcast all night long.
That's no good.
Yeah, there was some audio issues in my last show, but I was able to edit around them. It's in all the places, so hopefully everybody gets a double helping of the Game Case show this week. So I'm sorry, and you're welcome.
I did download, by the way. I had to listen to Totem again.
Woohoo! Totem was a lot of fun, and there was a lot of good information. Of course, right after we record that show, they come out with a lot of new stuff. So we could have totes re-recorded it and said totally different things. But
yeah, because we got a patch this week and a nice little career profile wipe.
Oh yeah, they wiped our profiles. They came out with some new skins, a new map that I haven't even seen yet.
Yeah, I had it in a skirmish for maybe 2 minutes and have not had a match in it yet. So I have no clue what all of it looks like.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's what, and that's I'm the same way. I got to see the map changes on Temple of Anubis. One of the maps they added towards the end, there was a choke point where you could only go through the middle and to the right, and they added a path on the left that seemed like it should have been there in the first place.
Yeah, it should have been, but it made it a lot easier for me to get back there with Reaper and do a nice little Death Blossom on the control point.
Oh yes, it's nice to sneak back there. I know when we played, it was I didn't even like I totally forgot. You kept on having to remind me to go over there. Like go
Yeah.
go over on the left. Why do you keep on dying on the right? And I'm just like, what are you? Oh yeah,
Just to
left
have it,
now.
yep.
Yeah, exactly. Theory. Well, okay. So Theory in the chat room is throwing a little salt on Only Watch, which is what everybody tends to call it.
Yeah.
That's not it. No, there are only slash. It's a big number. There's 30,000 people in the beta.
Yeah,
Now,
there's a lot of us in there.
they
And
said
more coming.
they said over 8 million signed up. So that is a drop in the bucket, and possibly more than are subscribed to WoW right now.
Yeah.
We don't have WoW numbers, of course, but
Yeah.
that very well could be more people than are actually playing WoW at the moment.
It wouldn't surprise me. It's probably about 2 or 3 million more signed up for the beta than are subscribed to WoW right now at this point in time.
Yep. And they haven't, it's the beta has been great. The beta has been extremely stable. The beta, I actually will say, has been more stable than the division was for the first day. And that's an actually released game, which here's me throwing my little bit of salt for the day.
Yeah, you had a little difficulty on opening day, didn't you?
So I stayed up late. I stayed up. I paid 13 extra bucks to get the game from Steam so I could download it, have it pre-downloaded, have it ready. Because
goodness.
Amazon Prime does you pre-order stuff, you get a percentage off, but it has to be on something that's shipped. That's the gimmick. So you can't get a digital version. I would have ended up probably receiving it on Tuesday rather than trying to play Tuesday at midnight or Monday at midnight, however you want to say that. So tried to log in and the servers went down for an hour and a half.
Oh, gosh.
And I want to be mad about that, but as an IT guy who just dealt with a server outage, I can only imagine what it was like to be at Ubisoft.
They were
Monday night.
probably hustling about as bad as Blizzard was when the servers went down at launch of Warlords.
Well, see, now what went down for launch of Warlords? Was it just WoW, or was it everything?
BattleNet went down at some point. There was 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hour queue times just to get on a server. Like, it was horrific.
Okay,
It was
that's
really
pretty
bad. Yeah.
That's pretty bad, because I was gonna say Ubisoft lost. They lost Uplay, so all of their games, like you were totally unable to get into Ubisoft games if you had to go through Uplay. Ubisoft.com was down. PlayStation, Xbox, PC.
Oh my gosh.
Everything. Like, they went dark. They basically, like, the switch got flipped and everything went down. And
Wow.
then it was hilarious as somebody that gets tech watching they had a Twitch stream of devs, which I don't know if they're still doing it. They may have only done it for 24 or 48 hours, but they have devs playing the Division. So you could go in and, some of the guys that worked on the game. And everyone in the chat's like, stop streaming and go fix the servers, dude. And the guy's just like, that's not what I do. No, I'm a game developer, not a server maintenance technician. Like, he didn't even have a name for it. Like, he doesn't even know the guys that do. And of course he doesn't know the guys that do that. Totally different job. And it's so funny being in IT. Everyone assumes like, oh, hey, you work in IT, right? Here's my cell phone. Here's here's my laptop. Can you fix this? And I look at people and I'm like, no. Do you need like a secure VPN set up between several sites? Do you need an
Yeah.
exchange server spun up? Like, what do you no? None of this? No. I can't get the virus off your laptop. So, I actually see. I need to dial down the salt today.
Salty. So salty.
know.
And you got on to me for being salty yesterday when we were overwatching.
I did, and it's the same thing. It's too much work and not enough sleep.
Not enough sleep, not enough play.
It's going around, but unfortunately, I think I might be coming down with what Dills has. But we won't talk about that one. So why don't we? Before we jump into questions, we do have a little bit of Blizzard news. So let me hit a button. Let me play a sound here, and now for news from all things Blizzard. Well, those are incredibly quiet. I'm going to talk over it because I'm going to have to add it back into the recording. And there we go. All right. So we do have a little bit of news. This actually all broke within the last hour or so.
Yeah. Really, really recent.
Yeah. So really, which is like such a pleasant change as opposed to things breaking, like news coming out 5 minutes after I stop recording. That's generally how it happens. So first off, vodka.
Oh, yeah. Goodness.
Vodka
Crazy.
posted over on their Vodka Guild Net forums that they had 3 officers that were going to be stepping away, as well as a multitude of other raiders. So they will not be pursuing World First in Legion. So they joined the ranks of Method, split up, Paragon went down.
Yeah.
We're seeing these World First teams drop left and right. This do you think this bodes like is this the death throes of WoW, or are we just?
I don't think it's the death throes of WoW. I think people's priorities change. It opens up the door for a lot of the other teams to come in. Like there's what Trekkie raids with Nihilum. I mean, they were like 13th or 14th, I think, this last raid tier. So that gives them a chance to step up and be, in the top 5, top 10. There's still Serenity. They'll be going strong with Sloot at the helm of them. So it's gonna be an interesting race when Legion comes out.
It definitely will, and I think you nailed it on the head. Everybody likes to. I saw a little kind of shade being thrown around over on Twitter with a couple people trying to call out Blizzard and, hey, how is esports focus working out for you? Look at all these teams dropping out of your world's first race.
Wow.
A couple things I'd like to point out is, first and foremost, world first rating is such a tiny, infinitesimal amount of the people that play World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's a drop in the bucket compared to the regular subscribers that just log in and do, run for mounts or work on achievements or just quest or, do crafting or whatever. It's an absolute drop in the bucket to the people that actually enjoy the content, aside from end game rating.
Oh yeah. And I mean, so we can name, just sitting here between the two of us, we could probably name like most of maybe the top 15, maybe even top 20, or come close to it. And what how many people on a mythic in a mythic? Is it 30?
It's 20. Yeah,
so
it's a 20 player cap.
So call it 30 if they have 10
they've
people,
got a bench.
10 people on the bench. So 30 people, there's 20 of them. That's what, 600 people?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay,
it's not very many at all.
Guys, at the beginning of Legion, or at the beginning of Draenor, there was 10 million subs. So what's going on with 600 people right now? Like, it is important. And these people are important to the game. They do a lot of the raid testing. They do a lot of the raid balancing.
Yeah, they tune it for the rest of us.
But let's be serious here. We're talking about, like, I don't even want to try to do the math. I would be sitting here saying 0.000 for quite some time before we got to the effect that this really is. Now, yes, there's people walking away from WoW. There's people on breaks. In fact, we're going to talk a little bit about your break here in just a little bit. But the reality of it is we're looking at a 10, 11-year-old game now.
Yep.
And, the people that started playing this when they were 16 or 15 or 20 are 11 years later in your life. Think about where you were 11 years ago. And before you say sitting in front of a computer playing WoW, I mean more as a whole holistic where you were in life. And I mean, life changes.
Mm-hmm. Priorities change.
And Theory is pointed out here in the chat room. He said, true, but since we don't see subs, and last time we did, it was at like 5 mil. It is a statement about the lack of content and desire to continue playing through. Yes, I will agree with you, but I will also throw back that it's also, yes, there's a lack of content, but you also have to think these guys are, while there is a lull, there is a break here, and okay, yeah, we're bored, we want to go do something else. It's also, we've been doing this for even 3 years, even 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever it is. Taking 2 weeks off several times a year.
That's a lot of time.
To raid 17 times a day or 17 hours a day.
Yeah, some have been more than that. Some of them raid 18 to 20 or a little bit more. They go until they just can't anymore.
That blows my mind. Like, I've played a game like that before for a day or two.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever spent even a week, much less 2 weeks, and then 6 weeks later, another 2 weeks, and then 6 weeks later, another 2 weeks, playing basically the same. Yes, it's different content, but you're playing the same game. Like,
yep.
We are bound to see attrition, and guys, World of Warcraft is okay. Blizzard is still doing a good job. Have things changed? Are there things that we should be critical of? Sure. But guys, somebody else is going to pick up the mantle. There is what we're seeing, I would say, more than a decline in Warcraft is a changing of the guard.
Yeah, exactly.
We're seeing the old standards kind of there's going to be people that step up. Serenity just came out. Method's still going to be at it, guys. Maybe Midwinter's going to step up.
Yep.
We don't know. She mentioned the N one. That one. I'm not gonna give somebody something to make fun of me for trying to say, but those guys, we will see people. We will see people stepping up. Totem, you say that it's fewer people. Totem in the chat room, guest from last week, said fewer people are wanting to put in the hours necessary for pushing world first. We don't know that that's true. All that we know is the people that we know are not willing to put in the hours necessary.
Right.
Let's see what happens when Legion comes out. I could be wrong. It has happened, I think, once before. I'll have to go to the chat room. I don't know if you guys keep track of that, but I believe once I was wrong. Yeah, CTR, we got to convert to Mythic.
Yeah, we have convert to Mythic. Come on now.
AComp, Darius, where you guys at? It's time to step up. It's your time to shine. But okay. That's enough about World First Rating. We could literally argue this for 4 hours.
Exactly.
Outside of World First, we did see a favorite of the community, CM Zarheim, has left Blizzard. We don't know if he stepped down. We don't know what happened. All we know is a email went out to the community. I won't read the whole thing. I think most people have seen it out on Twitter now. And it basically, I'll read a small excerpt here. Things change and people move on to other ventures beyond the doors of our campus. Et cetera, et cetera. We want to let you know that Zarheim will no longer be a contact for World of Warcraft at Blizzard Entertainment.
That's a little sad.
It definitely is. If I'm not mistaken, Zarheim came from CTR.
It's possible.
Um,
I've not been around very long, but it's quite possible.
I know that everyone knows him. I
Yeah.
don't know. I will say this, regardless of that, I don't know the history, but I know that he has been a friend to convert to Ray.
Mm-hmm.
He's somebody that is spoken of very fondly amongst the halls of Airy Peak. So to Zarheim, we wish you well. We wish you the best.
Absolutely.
And I know I've looked on his personal Twitter. Also, his CM Zarheim have been silent for a little over 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what's going on. I'm not even going to venture to guess because that would not be fair. But keep an eye out. I'm sure we'll see more from him. But thank you for your time with Warcraft, and thank you for everything that you've done
Yes, best
for
wishes.
the community. And that silly little skull. I love that thing.
That was my favorite, one of my favorite CM icons.
Oh, and you know, for those that have been wanting a job with Blizzard, maybe keep an eye on the job postings.
There you go.
They may be needing another CM sometime soon. But guys, that's about all we have for news. We touched on the Overwatch stuff. There's Hearthstone news out there. Guys, go to the places that you go to for that. I'm not going to cover it any better than Wowhead or Hearthpone or I'm just not. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to do something that I can do better than them, and that is answer questions from the Cuddle Crew. So here we go. Questions from the Cuddle Crew. I have no idea why those are so quiet. But
They
we're
don't
gonna
like
roll
me
with it.
today.
I don't know what it is. We'll fix it in post. Except for the people that are here live. You guys have to deal with it. Sorry. All right. So our first question for this week is from Totem. So Totem gave us a wonderful link, told us a little bit about a post from Cloud9GG that they said that they were excited to announce we've picked up a Play Overwatch team. So they signed Google Me, which is the top U.S. Overwatch team.
Oh,
now,
wow.
So they're now part of Cloud9 Gaming. And his question is, with Google Me, the top U.S. team signing with Cloud9, do you think Tempo Storm will follow in their footsteps and sign an Overwatch team? IDDQD has yet to be picked up despite being the best team in the world currently. What do you think, Wicked?
Ooh, if somebody is smart, they will pick up IDDQD with the quickness. Those guys are fierce. Absolutely fierce.
Yeah, they are. Google Me and IDDQD are the Tempo Storm and Cloud9 of Overwatch, for lack
They
of a
are.
better
They are.
comparison.
Yep.
And with both of these guys kind of expanding out their gaming squads, I think it would be quite silly for Tempo Storm not to be looking at picking up someone. As to whether it would be IDDQD, that just depends on whether or not they want to pick up an international team.
Yeah.
I do not. I'll be perfectly honest. I don't follow Cloud9 and Tempo Storm's organizations enough to know that if they do they have presences in other countries right now, or are they mainly U.S.
I know Cloud9 went over to Korea not long ago for a Heroes thing, and the way the meta in Heroes is, the different countries, they all have a different meta, and ours is the US is really aggressive, and they go to Korea and theirs is a little more passive, and they just got wrecked.
Wow.
It was crazy. Yeah. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I couldn't believe it cuz they're really strong, over here. So,
Wow. Well, that's what I know that it's gonna. This game is so new. I would not be surprised. Totem, to answer your question, I wouldn't be surprised if Tempo picks them up, if international teams are something that they're interested in picking up. just thinking out loud about it internationally, all of a sudden you're looking at paying people, making agreements and contracts and stuff like that in another country.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that Tempo's prepared to do, yeah, watch Tempo pick up IDDQD, but also understand that IDDQD might be at the top of the world right now, but they're at the top of the world for a game that is in beta, that still has a lot of tuning, that still has a lot of teams that are going to show up. And just because they're at the top of the world right now doesn't mean there's not another team out there that's going to be better than them at release. So Tempo might be slow. For all we know, Tempo has an in-house team that's
working on it right now. Yeah.
Yeah. That they just have not debuted in tournaments. Because to be quite frank, these tournaments right now, while they're exciting and they're a whole lot of fun to watch, we got Gosu Gamers, we got ESL, but they're like $500 pot tournaments.
Yeah.
If I was Tempo Storm and I was interested in
I would
being
sit
into
back and wait.
Overwatch, I would have a group of 6 or 10 guys playing Overwatch in a building somewhere, living in a house like their HOTS teams do.
Tucked away from everybody.
Playing the ton out of Overwatch and let them run out once this game actually comes out. Because the reality of it is, and you hear this, Totem, I believe you could back me up in the chat, you see the meta in Overwatch changing so much right now.
Mm-hmm. Consistently.
From Monday to Tuesday to Wednesday. Not even talking like week to week, month to month. But everything's changing. Everybody's still figuring stuff out. And this is not at all to detract from Google Me or IDDQD right now, but I don't think we're going to... I don't think we've seen the full lay of the land, as it were. We're seeing the early adopters right now.
Yep.
Most of it shifts based on script. Yeah, and Totem says, yeah, most of it is shifting based on scrims, and that's the thing. You could be totally not involved in the tournament scene and still be a very competitive team right now.
Yeah.
I believe. I could be wrong. Now our next question this week comes from Squinty. Squinty asks, this is a good one too. What were the games that got you into gaming? What games give you strong nostalgia? So I'm going to throw this your way first.
Oh, wow. I'm going to show my age a little bit here. I would have to say this goes all the way back to the, what is it? The Atari, maybe something. Frogger. I freaking love Frogger. I can play that game for hours and not ever get tired of it. Yeah, that does show my age a little. I'm a little embarrassed now, but yeah. Frogger and absolutely the original Legend of Zelda on the Nintendo. That game was so fun. I wasted so many hours on Zelda.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, would you say that those were the games that really... Well, let me ask you this. As you have shown your age, we won't mention it because that would be rude, and I can't count that high. I'm kidding. I'm supposed to laugh at that.
Paybacks are coming, Cuddles.
I know, right? No. Would you say as a female gamer, have you always gamed? Was there a time in your life that you didn't? Did you pick these games up at an early age and then just keep on gaming?
I did pick them up fairly young, but I got more involved with it after probably I was maybe 11, 12, 13, something like that, I think, when the first Nintendo came out. And there went, it didn't mess with my studies because I couldn't play with it if I had homework, but I spent a lot of time playing the regular Nintendo. And there was quite a while, probably a good 7 or 8 years, where I didn't touch a console at all.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I picked it back up maybe 6 years ago, something like that. So been playing ever since.
Nice. Nice. So for me, games that got me into gaming, I can't ever remember not gaming.
Yeah.
I vaguely I don't think I had an Atari, at least when it was new. I own one now. But I vaguely remember, I think, getting a Nintendo when it very first came out. But I remember having my NES.
Right.
And, of course, Mario Brothers, Zelda.
Duck Hunt.
Okay. So, Duck Hunt, track and field with the
Yes.
mat.
You had to have the mat, and your feet would be
Yes.
so tired that you'd sit and beat it with your hands until they bled because you couldn't run fast enough.
Oh my gosh, did you not know the trick? Did you?
No, I guess I did not.
Okay, so here's the trick. You had the circles, right?
Right.
So you would stand right in front of the circles
Uh-huh.
and use the heels of your feet
Oh my god.
and just barely lift them up and
Oh
you
my
could move the
goodness.
heels of your feet so much quicker than you could, and that was the only way I ever beat it on Rabbit. So okay, Duck Hunt, Kung Fu. There was an old game called Kung
my
Fu that
gosh.
it was just like you were just like a nondescript ninja fighting things.
Yep. Do you remember what is it, Excite Bike? Where you're on the little motor scooter or whatever and the little ramps and the jumps and stuff and you could build your own little track right there. Paperboy, come on now.
Oh, Paperboy. Okay,
I would get
Paperboy,
so
that-
mad at that game.
that old granny on the hot rod.
Yes.
That would come by at the end and just wipe you out. Oh my gosh! But if I had a game that got me into gaming, Dragon Warrior. If anyone ever played that, it's a very old RPG on Nintendo. I still have my NES. I still play through Dragon Warrior every now and again. I should
wow.
probably stream it at some point. But Dragon Warrior, and then made me a gamer, Tecmo Super Bowl. Because I can remember my best friend.
Yes, I remember that game. Oh my gosh.
My best friend AJ used to come over and we'd have sleepovers and we'd play 3 or 4 entire seasons of that and just stay up all night. And I think that's what, looking back, that's probably what turned me from playing games into being a gamer.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
that rabid, I'm not going to stop until I beat it sort of mentality. I remember times when I'd pass out with 2 games left in the season, or he'd pass out, and then we'd play the other person's season's game, and because you had to finish that season, you had
Yep.
we always won the Super Bowl.
Back
Just-
then there was no save.
yeah.
Couldn't save them.
Oh man. But all right, so from the chat room, I gotta read some of these because this is some awesome stuff. Tasia threw out Questron 2 in fantasy. Totem's got a little Super Mario 3 love in here. Draven with Diablo 1 and 2, StarCraft 1, Final Fantasy with a lot of numbers. Metal Gear Solid. Erlina
wow.
with Pong. Whoa.
Yes.
I love
Pong.
it. Tasia, Pac-Man, and Space Invaders. What else we got? WoW. Stone has Star Control 2. Really got him into gaming. A little Pitfall love in the chat.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Kung
So
Fu-
many memories right there.
Oregon Trail. Who did not waste time at school playing Oregon Trail?
Yes.
Well, okay, so Totem just threw out in terms of PC gaming. So I used to play MUDs, which were the little text-based games, and I don't remember the name of it, but I used to play a Star Trek MUD online because gigantic nerd. Kingdom of Cross, which was an old DOS-based game, DOS-based text game, and then nostalgic on the PC for me would be World of Warcraft, Warlords of Draenor.
Yeah,
One
because
of my-
you're
one
a
of my first
Warlords
PC
baby,
games.
aren't you?
I am.
Oh
I
my
am.
goodness. My first little character, my friend Drunky got me into WoW uh so many years ago. And I had a little gnome warlock. Worst freaking tune for somebody to ever start WoW with if you've never played WoW. I died all the freaking time. And I played it for about 6 months and said, I don't think I'm coming back to this game. And left for like 3 years. And well, here I sit, raid
Oh
lead
wow.
of a team in WoW.
Oh, that's
Maining a
beautiful.
hunter, though. Maining a hunter.
Nice. Nice. So barrage and aspect of the pack now.
No,
That's it.
pack is not even on my bars. I don't even use it.
I
Yeah,
always
I
have
do
it on.
barrage though. I don't barrage all the things, but I do barrage.
I barrage all the things. Because I only bring my hunter on alt night, so I do all the horrible bad hunter things, just because it's alt night and who cares. So Ursangus has a follow up question for this. What games are your guilty? Well, Ursangus actually worded this a little bit wrong, and I thought he was talking about like Japanese dating games.
Oh my gosh.
But I don't think I'm gonna read it the way he wrote it. Then we're actually gonna ask the real question. What games are your guilty to pleasure? I'm not guilty about to pleasuring any games or saying this, but thank you. I'm going to assume that he meant what games are your guilty pleasure. So do you have any like guilty pleasure games? Because I know I do.
Oh wow. Let's see. I can't think of any off the top of my head. I'm pretty straightforward with what I play.
Oh
But I
jeez.
have done a little to take a little note from Belsnickel. I have dibble dabbled a little bit in Second Life, but it's not really like a game. But yeah, that's if I had to have a guilty pleasure, it would probably be that. It's just too much fun in there.
Okay. I have not succumbed to that particular cult yet.
Yeah, I don't recommend it.
I'm still too busy with work. So I watched a documentary on Second Life where like the people are like, yeah, I get off my job and then I go home and I work at my job at Second Life, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
that sounds
it's
miserable.
crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, 'cause, like there's little places where you pay for rent, where you can have your little house and stuff, and you can get married. It's just kind of
And
crazy. I
and
didn't stay there for very long.
and I don't. I know that there are folks that listen to this show that play Second Life, and to each their own. For
Yeah,
me,
exactly.
I do not like for no reason do I need to go have a job somewhere after I have my
No,
job.
no.
But
Oh,
maybe one day I'll
Sims.
try it.
Yeah, I do play the Sims every now and then. If I just want to get away from stuff, the Sims, absolutely. I'll go piddle around in there for a little while.
Okay, so Tasia just called out a guilty pleasure game in Barbie horse
I
Barbie
don't
what
think
is
you've
this?
ever
Barbie
heard of
Horse
that,
Adventures?
but I might have to try it out.
So I have a similar, and I'm not even kidding. I have to look up the name about this so I get this right. It was a game that I played on Xbox 360 because it was a quote easy 1,000 achievement points. And for those that don't know about Xbox, you have a gamer score, which every game has 1,000 points that you can complete, and some of them are easy, some of them are hard. And I was a little bit of a gamer score whore. I'm somewhere around 40,000 gamer score, which is like reasonable, not crazy, but better than many, not as good as some. So I played a game for gamer score, and I actually really ended up liking it.
Uh-oh.
This is tough, guys.
Is it embarrassing?
It is. I can't believe I'm gonna, because I could have just been like, yeah, I don't have any guilty pleasure games. Let's just move on. But I'm gonna be real with y'all. Hannah Montana, the movie game.
Oh my gosh.
Yep, I absolutely love it. You got to ride a horse. You had a little romance with like this like cute guy from the city, and you got to try on all sorts of different clothes. And I had a lot of fun with that game.
Well,
You
that
gotta
just
like
shows
sing. It was great.
It just shows you're in touch with your feminine side. That's all.
No, it says nothing about my feminine side. It says that I played Hannah Montana the movie game.
Okay, I'll give you 2 cool points for that. Not 5. You can't get the full 5, but you can have 2.
Yeah. Although I will say, if they came out with a now Miley Cyrus game, like that would be kind of cool, like a Grand Theft Auto style.
That would be kind of cool.
Like now Miley.
I would play.
Like you gotta pop a Molly and go get some new J's. Like you gotta hang out with some rappers and
Run around with.
We're gonna stop that right here. We're
gonna on and all that kind of stuff. Halfway dressed, all that fun stuff. You know.
Yeah. So that is my guilty. I have not played it. I got it from GameFly. I had GameFly at the time, so I do not own the game. Although if you go and look on my Xbox history, I did 100% complete Hannah Montana the movie game. So that's a thing that happened. So Sangus, thank you for that question.
Confessions with Cuddles.
Yeah. We're not renaming that segment because I got nothing else worse than that. That is my skeleton. There you go. So guys, thank you to Totem, Squinty, and Sangus for submitting questions this week. You can, of course, if you're like, oh my gosh, I want to ask Cuddles questions so we can talk more about Hannah Montana. That sounds awesome.
Yes.
But how would I do that? I'll tell you how. bit.ly/Cuddles Discord. That's bit.ly/Cuddles Discord. Go there. That is the official Discord channel of the Game Case Show. There is a chat channel in there called Questions for the Show. And, you know, guys, it's that's where you put them because that's what it's called. Questions for the show. If you get in the Discord and you can't find out which chat channel is for Questions for the Show, you are officially not allowed to ask questions for the show. But you have up until 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Thursday to get those questions. And you can ask them anytime during the week. I think Totems came in yesterday or the day before.
Yeah.
So guys, put them in there whenever you want. I'll make sure to get them in the show. I will answer just about anything.
Almost.
I might even talk about Hannah Montana. Oh no, Tasia pointed out that, and you know what? We normally do this a little bit later in the show, but since I just got real, guys, let's continue this. Let's have a little real talk. Let's have a little moment here before we jump into the meat and potatoes. And guys, there's something that's been weighing very heavy on me. If you've been listening to the show the last couple of weeks, you probably know what we're about to talk about. But you know, there's been a lot of charity stuff going on lately. They did Child's Play. There's all sorts of people giving back right now. And I want to do what I can to help an underserved member of our community. Something that's very near and dear to my heart. And that, my friends, that is the plight of the left shark. So let's go ahead and let's take just a moment and find the file that I'm looking for. Here we are. It's just a shark, only a few months old, in agony. A terrified little fish. A fish that knows nothing but pain. That pain is caused by a broken heart. A heart broken by loneliness. All Left Shark knows is it's in agony. All Left Shark knows is it won't stop. Will you help a left shark? We here at the Game Case are doing everything that we can to save all of the lonely and unwanted left sharks across Draenor. But will you help? Will you pick up your mouse today and mail that left shark to Dairies? Please. It takes nearly no time at all, but will make all the difference in the world to that one left shark. So mail today to Dairies on U.S. Airy Peak, and remember to tell him, thanks for this show. So there you go, guys. The plight of the left shark is real. It's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I've seen in the chat that Stone, have a wonderful night. Thank you for stopping by. That Darius is now sending these left sharks back. Guys, all that is a plea for help. A plea for more left sharks. If he just is letting you know how much he appreciated receiving them, so much so that he wants to receive them again. So please,
Poor Darius.
Darius, Dairies on US Airy Peak. You don't have to be a part of Convert to Raid. You don't have to be on our server. You can send this to him from anywhere in the WoW world. And please send him the left sharks. Save
Poor
them.
Darius.
Poor Darius.
I didn't do it. I didn't send any. I've been good.
You want to know the funny thing? So Draven is originally, Draven is the one behind this. Chai T and I have both jumped on the bandwagon. I know Draven's been talking about it. Ursangus has been spamming it in Guild. I've been spamming it in Guild. And I haven't sent him a single one.
Oh my goodness.
I don't have any. I ignore those. I think I do have one extra one that I got to send them. Squinty, if he sends you 2, I think Squinty is the record holder right now with like 500 or something crazy like that.
That doesn't surprise me.
But guys, that was fun. But why don't we go ahead and jump on into the meat and the potatoes. And now for the meat and potatoes.
Okay, here we go.
All right. Now, since I have the honor of having Wicked with me tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about raid leading in WoW, what it's like to be leading a team during this lull in content and heading into Legion. Now, Wicked, why don't you tell us a little bit about Just Wipe It for those that are unfamiliar? How long have y'all been around?
We formed back in August of last year. Started out with just 4 of us. There's now 13 in the core group, so we have a little bit of room left. We're a heroic team with the potential to go into Mythic, but, obviously we're still missing a handful of people. We are recruiting, though, so swing by the guild page, check us out. But yeah, it's been a little rough the past month for us, I guess, with attrition and the lull of content, so to speak. You get tired of beating your head against heroic Archie every week for nothing. Because everybody else gets the loot, or it gets disenchanted, it gets vended, just whatever.
So you guys have been 13 to 13 for about how long now?
We got our first heroic Archie kill as a team the first week of January. That first Tuesday, we got him down that first time. We took a little bit of a partial break over the holidays and just farmed some tier content to get everybody ready, and went in there and knocked him out. And it was good. It was good. It was nice to be able to kill him with the team. So
nice. So no desire to push into mythics, nothing like that.
We do. But we're still missing at least, I'd like to have about 15 more people. A few on the bench and a few for the core.
Right on. No. Why Just Wipe It? Why call a team Just Wipe It?
That's so funny. Myself and 4 other people came over to CTR with me from another server. And it's a really funny story, actually. Our raid leader in another guild was consistently telling us to wipe it after one person would die against a boss, because apparently if we didn't have a full team, we couldn't do anything. So one of my buddies asked, "Why are we wiping?" And some choice words were said, and I said, "Well, I've had enough of that." So I left and came to CTR, and that's how we came across the name Just Wipe It, because it was kind of a stab at them, but it was a joke to us.
Nice. And it's such a cool name for a team.
It's a fun name. It's a fun name. So we have a lot of fun with it. Usually, Shoal or somebody will pop up, when the boss has got 500k, 700k health left, and just tell everybody to just wipe it up. So it's pretty awesome.
Nice. Now, okay, so I have had the pleasure and the honor of having you guys drag me along for my heroic Archie kill
Yeah, we surprised you.
to get my moose. That was a wonderful surprise. So I kind of know, and I get to play Overwatch with a lot of y'all and hang out in your Discord, and so I have a little bit of a feeling for the dynamic of the team and like what sort of folks y'all are. But I've never seen you in progression. So on a scale of like we expect people to be like fall over drunk and AFK in the middle of raid to we will yell at you if your DPS is down like 300 like DPS over where it should be and you're off the team, like where do you guys fall from like elite tryhards to totally filthy casuals?
We're probably about a 6.5 and maybe a 7. Not tremendously elitist, but we're not, gonna spend 6 weeks on one boss unless it's just really, really bad. Everybody, we've got a good solid core, and everybody does well with their position. So usually it's just like for HFC for us, it was just a mechanics thing. Everybody getting adjusted to mechanics. But other than that, it's pretty laid back. We joke around a lot during raid. So yeah,
Nice.
casually hardcore, Marissa. Absolutely.
There you go. Nice. I like that term. Now what? So you said you left the you left the team on another server. Were you? I gotta ask. Were you Alliance on the other server?
No, I was a hoardie. I ever since I came back to WoW, I was a hoardie, and I did not have the little double agent achievement until I moved my level 100 to CTR. And as soon as she logged in, I got the double agent for having a max character for both factions. Yeah. So
Nice. Now why convert to raid? Was that a conscious decision or was it just like the place looks good?
well, it was a conscious decision for me. I'd been listening to the podcast for quite a while, and I enjoyed it so much. And I was like, "Well, I got to go see what these guys are about." So I came right over happily. I enjoy it. Met a lot of great people over here. Had a lot of fun. So it's worth the stay.
Oh, it definitely is. It's such a unique kind of. I'll take Ursangus's term. It's such a unique gem
Yeah,
in
it is.
WoW, and it's if you have not experienced convert to raid, it's something that you need to do during your WoW career.
Absolutely, highly recommend it.
Especially, I would imagine it's especially amazing after coming from a filthy horde server to,
Filthy.
being on such a nice place and not having spikes everywhere and just everything being clean and generally not smelling would be pleasant.
I
I
still
would
have some hoardy tunes.
think.
I still have to dip over there and see what the story's like.
So now, how did you end up? So you were obviously you were raiding with the team over on horde side,
Yes, and
and
I
you
was
end
an
up over
officer
here.
for the team, so
Okay, so you were an officer. So was it just you were the officer that left the team and some people came and you ended up raid leading? Or how did
well,
how did raid lead Wicked come about?
I had gotten close with the few that came over with me, and they were all on the raid team as well. So, I was like, well, I've got to get out of here. I'm not going to put up with this. I'm not going to listen to somebody's negativity. It's my money, my game. So I was like, well, going to CTR, and we'll see what happens. And after about 2 weeks, none of us could find a team that we wanted to play with. So I made the decision to form my own, and that's how Raid Lead Wickedella came about.
Wow. Now, let me ask you this: has it always was raid leading what you expected it to be?
Kinda. Actually, I expected it to be a little bit tougher. It is a little rough at times, and it's little easy at times, especially when I take a break and still get messages about raid when I try to step away for a day or two. But it's tough, but I can handle it. So got big shoulders.
Right on. Now, what would you say? I mean, what sort of issues? Without obviously, like, I don't want you. I don't want to put you in a bad spot where you're talking like bad about your team or anything. So please,
Oh,
if
I've
there's
got
something that
nothing
you
bad to say about my guys at all.
oh well, what are there any issues that have come up that have maybe surprised you or like that you expected, like generic loot drama, like somebody not liking somebody else, like, oh, he said my DPS sucked. Well, your DPS sucked. No, your DPS.
We before we picked up Mudala, we did have a little bit of drama. We had we've since shifted away from that and use a totally different system now, but um we had somebody come in and their spouse wanted to raid and they got in there and they were a little subpar, but we were doing our best to carry them at the time and it was still progression, so it made it even harder. But they got mad and rage quit because we weren't funneling gear to them. So yeah, that's not gonna happen. So we had to part ways, and then we picked up Mudala, and surprisingly enough, started killing bosses again. So hence, I guess dropping the drama made it a whole lot better for us. So
That's getting rid of drama from my limited experience can, even if that drama drops your DPS,
yeah,
everyone seems to do better when they're in a better mood. At least
exactly.
on the level that I'm rating. I mean, I'm sure that's totally not true in a mythic level like World First Guild. They're all there to, bang their heads against the keyboard and do
Right.
ridiculous amounts of DPS. And they can all hate each other because they're all going for the same goal. But it's in that I think you touched on something there, that there was a spouse involved.
Yeah, and it's always hard to have two team members that are in a relationship because one always thinks that stuff should go to somebody else and it really shouldn't, and somebody else deserves it more. So it makes it a little bit difficult, but we've pretty much come up with a good plan, and so far it's been working. We haven't had any issues with it. So
Right on. That's it. It is tough because after that, it's not just you thinking that you're thinking that your significant other or somebody that you really care about is getting slighted, and then emotions turn into things, and yeah, it can be rough. So kudos for you, for taking care of them. Now you guys are, or you yourself are actually on a little bit of a break right now, although your
I
team's still getting in there and raiding a little bit.
Well, we've actually decided to take a bit of a break. It wasn't just me
Okay.
that was getting burnt out. We had several others that were getting burnt out, doing the same thing week after week after week after week. So we decided to turn it into a little, if the team wants to get together on Tuesday and Thursday during raid time, we can go play other games. We can go to Heroes, go battle a little bit in Hearthstone or find Cards Against Humanity or something like that, to keep everybody together. And then we have a couple that still wanted to raid, so they're continuing to raid and pugging into groups and doing what they need to do. So, but we're doing what we can to keep the team together right now. So it started out with a little bit of attrition, losing a couple people because they needed a break or they had to go out of town for extended periods of time. So it's too hard to get really good people to come in and step in when you need somebody, especially on Archie, when they don't want to listen or they don't want to get in voice chat or something like that. So it makes it a little difficult because they can't hear call outs, and then you have issues with people like to be smart Alex
Yeah.
and tell you how to do your job when they're the one coming into your group. So
Hey, have you guys done this fight before? Do you know that? Do
eh,
you need me to explain this to you?
exactly, we
Do you
did
need,
have that
have,
happen.
have you done this fight before? I have a 723 eye level and ahead of the curve. So do you need me to explain this to you?
That has turned into a running joke with us too.
Oh, that is.
That
I
has
was so
happened.
glad I was there for that fight. That was. I don't even remember what was that like. That was like an alt night for you
Yeah,
guys.
it was an alt run. Everybody was on their alts, and
Yeah,
you came
because you
on
let
your
me
little
bring my rogue.
rogue.
Yeah, my little baby.
Yep, your little baby rogue.
Oh, that's great. That was so much fun. So for those that don't understand the completely inside joke that we're sharing here, I came on an alt night like she said, and we plugged in like a 723 eye level like Pally or something.
It was a warrior or something, I think.
Every single boss, he's like, so do you guys, he was chatting. He wasn't in voice. I think, or no, he was in voice.
It was,
Was he in
yeah, he was
voice?
constantly asking, "Do you guys need me
Yeah.
to explain this
So,
fight to you?"
So, do you guys need me to explain this fight for you guys? Because I have a 723 eye level, and I've done this before. And do you guys are you sure? And they're all like, yeah, we're like 13 to 13. All of our alts are over. Like we're geared more than you, so shut up. We know what we're doing.
Like,
No
yeah,
one.
we're
No one
good.
died on the last fight. I don't know why you're asking. Like we don't like we're one-shotting everything. You don't. It's not like we were wiping on things. It was, it was one of those. And we're at that point in an expansion where you're right. It is hard to pug because high level doesn't necessarily earlier in an expansion or in a raid tier. Eye level equates somewhat or much more
Yeah,
likely
it-
to equate with skill.
Yep.
And now we're at a point where you could have pugged and open rated and died your way to a set of
Exactly.
27, 25 gear.
Yep.
Just because you're heroically geared doesn't mean you're a heroic raider.
Exactly. Exactly.
And just because you're a heroic raider, even with your team, doesn't mean you can jump in, adapt to a new strat, do something a little bit different. That's the
Yep.
big thing. I know for me, raiding on two teams, it's oftentimes tough for me, especially as a tank. I like if I was a DPS like a melee DPS, I would have like if our two teams did something differently, it's okay. Don't stand in the poo. All right, so I'm gonna not stand in the poo over here rather than over there.
Right.
But as a tank, having to position the boss, it even confuses me being on two teams that are well coordinated and we're talking and we're all having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Like to remember to do things, much less having to jump in and trying to figure out what somebody else
Right.
wants me to do.
Yeah, it's difficult when you switch positions. If you go from a range to a melee, it's different. It's not extremely different, but there's still different mechanics you have to deal with. Or if you're switching from a tank to a healer, there's still different mechanics you have to deal with. And it makes it hard when you're trying to pull people in and they're on an alt, but yet they're used to doing something one way. And luckily, there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there's 5,000 ways to kill these bosses. So no, not everybody's going to have the same strat, and what works best for your team might not work best for someone else's team and their raid composition.
Exactly. And Draven kind of hit it on the Draven hit it on the head there. Just because you're heroically geared doesn't make you a heroic raider. For those that don't know what he's referencing, a few weeks ago I used this on over on Dark Moon Herald when I was honored to be their guest. They have a wonderful part of their show called the Sideshow of Suck, where you admit something stupid that you've done. We went into rubber chickens, and I got my Archie kill, and before that I was 12 or 13. And I have all heroic gear, and like I'm feeling like I got my swagger on, like I'm feeling really good about where I'm at this tier. So we're in normal. We're doing our normal Manny Archie for ring upgrades, and I got knocked off the platform twice by Manny, like the very
Oh
first,
my goodness.
the very first glaive combo because I positioned myself in the wrong spot, and then so I get knocked off the first time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I don't know what happened, blah, blah, blah. You know, that was silly. That was stupid. So I come back, and the next pull, I get knocked off as I'm falling. I'm like, oh my gosh, guys, I'm so sorry. This has never happened before. And somebody in raid like didn't even skip it. They're like, dude, that's a lie. It happened like 35 seconds ago.
Oh my gosh.
And I cannot stay on that daggum platform. I don't know what it is. I normally lose it at the end though, not the first glaive combo. Anyway, gosh, thanks for bringing that up, Draven. So what you mentioned a little bit, and this is something that I wanted to touch on with you because you seem to be doing a very good job of it right now, and that is holding your team together.
I'm trying. We are trying. We're actually so a few of us got together Tuesday and went to Heroes and played around in Heroes for about an hour or so, and others were off doing other stuff, but we were all in Discord together, so we were still chatting and everything. So, but we're trying. Got to do what we can. Still recruiting though, and that's still difficult, but it's not easy right now. Hasn't been easy this entire expansion actually. Getting a full team.
Yeah, it can't be, but I mean we're hopefully gonna start seeing a Legion date sometime soon, maybe.
Oh, I hope so. I need to take my vacation. Oh gosh.
And once pre-patch hits, I'm sure we'll see the normal influx of folks coming back so they can gear things up. Because I mean, let's be honest, the Hellfire's been out for how long now? A while.
We're going on a year. It's like June or July of last
Has
year, I
it
believe.
been that long?
Yeah.
Gee-bus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Gee-bus.
I'm hoping Legion comes very soon.
Yeah, okay. I didn't realize it had been that long. Yeah, I mean that's a long time for people to hang out. Wicked, what time does your raid team?
We run on Tuesdays and Thursdays, 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific.
There you go. Yes, and that's why is the only reason why I am not. Obviously, I do something on Thursdays. I don't remember what. And then Tuesday nights is Rubber Chicken Coalition for me, which I love those guys. And that's such a. I still want to. In Legion, I will have a heroic team. I don't know if I'm just with the timing. I don't know if I'm going to be waking up at 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning every Saturday and Sunday. But I know that I'm going to stay with. Rubber Chickens. Because that time is great and they're awesome. And the same sort of thing that you guys are at right now. We're playing other games together. We're hanging out. And
you gotta try to keep everybody together because if you don't, slowly everybody starts drifting off to other stuff and they don't make it back.
No, let me ask you this: how much effort are you actually are you making a conscious effort to do things and keep people together, or is it kind of just something that's happening? If there's another raid lead out there listening to this and they're suffering from some of the same stuff, what would you say to that raid lead?
Oh my goodness. We're actually making a conscious effort to keep everybody together. We want to stay together because we've got a really good, solid core team and we don't want to lose anybody. We fought really hard to get the ones that we have. So we're trying to keep everybody together, whether, we're logging in and doing achievements or just doing silly stuff or, turning off battle tags and go and play and hide and seek in Elwyn Forest or something. I mean, like it's crazy, but you do little stuff to keep everybody interested and keep everybody going. It's tough, but you'll get it. The ones that stick around are the ones you want to keep.
Exactly. And some of the people that you are going to recruit right now are going to be some of the people that are, they're going to be the people that don't come in a month before Legion launch and then leave 2 months after it.
Yep, exactly.
After it comes out. The folks that are logging into WoW every day right now and that are playing WoW, those are the folks that are actually dedicated to World of Warcraft.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that they're never going to leave, but it might be a little bit better of an indicator.
Yeah.
That you can count on.
If you can pick some folks up right now, that's a really good time to do it, even though you might not want to be doing current content because it's gotten a little stale for you, but you'll you'll find the ones that you want to keep
Yep.
because they're going to keep logging in.
And if you have a team that is still wanting to raid, remember you don't have to bang your head up against Hellfire. I know Convert to Mythic right now is going back and doing Mythic BRF.
Yeah, exactly. There's mounts and achievements and all kinds of stuff to still
Yeah.
be going to get.
Did you clear Mythic Hellfire or not Hellfire?
BRF?
No, that's what was the one
BlackRock?
before
High Mall?
High Mall. There we go.
High
I
Mall?
knew it had an H.
No, I have not, and I would like to, but there
And
again, we have 13 and need 20. So
Oh yeah, but our at 720 730 eye level, how
Yeah, it
much of
should
a
be a
face
breeze.
roll should High Mall Mythic?
Yeah.
There's still mechanics,
Yep.
but if you're getting through heroic Hellfire and you're playing as a team, getting back in, I mean, and doing some of these, yeah, it's gonna be, but look at it as progression all over again,
Yep.
and new progression for you.
Yeah. Something fresh.
Yeah, do team pet battles. Go play. There's stuff to do, even inside of WoW.
Yep.
So, yeah. Now, what are the plans for Just Wipe It for Legion? You guys going world first? What are we looking at?
No, I don't have the time to dedicate to going to world first. I don't think some of my team members have the time to dedicate. They have munchkins that they need to tuck into bed at a certain time and jobs that call them away. So I don't think we'll be going for any world first anytime soon. We all tried to hit the lottery so we could all get gaming rigs and retire and go for world first for Legion. Didn't happen. Somebody else got our money. So
Nice.
we tried anyway. We tried. But yeah, we'll still be going through heroic progression. We'll probably start out normal, get a feel of it, see where we're sitting, and go from there. So we'll see. You never know. We may end up with a mythic team after all.
Right on. Right on. That's what we still do have a couple months, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit. My vacation expires in a few months, so they need to announce a launch date so I can take vacation.
I know, right? And that's hopefully we'll see an announcement tomorrow for maybe a BlizzCon date and maybe
Hopefully.
Legion, maybe at least pre-patch.
Hopefully.
That would be
I think Legion is going to hit around June or July. We'll see.
that would be soon.
Yes, it would be soon.
That
But I
would
don't think Blizzard is smart with their marketing, and I think they can't afford to let the hype from the movie die down before they drop the expansion to get more people in here.
I'm going to be very surprised, and I don't know. I'm going to be very surprised, although I think I might be wrong in saying this. I guess that's the way I'll put it. I would be very surprised if they don't drop Legion before the movie.
Really, especially with Overwatch coming out at the end of May, right? 2-3 weeks before the movie starts.
Now, Blizzard is smarter than me. Blizzard has people that get paid to be marketers of products. So I am not going to argue with them, but here's my logic. You mentioned and we talked about the Legion problems.
Yeah.
That or the Warlords of Draenor problems. I like the idea of people going to the movie and walking out and going, "Oh my gosh, that's World of Warcraft. That's awesome. I want to. Oh my God, look at the GameStop that I just walked by on my way back to my car." Because that's a thing now. Like let them pick it up. And evidently, Draven in theory just blew me away and said that they've said that they definitely won't. Although I think it would have made sense. Like, I think it would make sense to have people walking out of the movie theater and having something to play. Although, I guess it makes sense to have them walking out of the movie theater. They have 10 years of content to play. And then in a month, a new X-Pack drops.
Right. That's why I'm thinking, because the movie's out, like the 10th or 11th of June. That's why I'm thinking like the end of June, first week or so of July to give everybody a chance, give them a couple of weeks to go see the movie, and then come in and be like, man, I really need to go play that.
Okay. Thank you, everyone in the chat room, for telling me that I'm totally wrong.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cuddles.
I appreciate you all. This is the official announcement. We're no longer having a chat room. We're going back to pre-recorded shows. I'm not doing live anymore. I'm gonna cry. Marissa, I will be doing a Florida movie meetup the next weekend. And there is a possibility, I need to talk to Bell and Nab, there is a possibility that there will be a meetup opening weekend. It just depends on what they're able to do. And if you would like to reach out to either one of them, please feel free to offer some help. You're more than welcome to do one yourself as well. Please don't. I'm not saying that they have like carte blanche rights to do a meetup in Florida. Like you want to meet up in Florida, make a meetup in Florida. Go ahead and do it. Make a meetup in Melbourne. I'm sure there's plenty of East Coast people over there. So, guys, that is going to bring us to the point of the show, a magical time, where we are going to do some shout outs. And now it's time for shout outs.
All right, yeah, come on. Whoa, I mean, not come on, but yeah.
All right. So before we dive into shout outs, guys, I do want to remind you that we do have a meetup coming up. Jeez, very, very soon. 9 days from now. 9 days from when we're recording. Probably not 9 days from where from when you're listening, if you're listening on the download. So why don't I just give you a date instead of rambling on about how many days it is right now? It is March 19th in Tampa Bay, Florida, the CTR Central Florida wing of the Ren Raid 2016 will be happening at the Bay Area Renaissance Festival. I will drop a link for that in the show notes. Make sure to check that out. You can go to bit.ly/CFL Renraid, I believe. I'll drop a link again in the show notes. I should have had that ready.
Right around the corner.
But right around the corner, they're going to have Barbarian Brew Fest. They're going to have Barbarian vendors. They're going to have a craft beer tasting. They're going to have the Florida State Archery Championships. They are going to have a Best Beard competition, which yours truly will enter and lose. Although they do have a most unique category. So I'm hoping my 1 year neck beard, my kind of patchy, mangy growth, maybe it's the most unique. We shall see. I will be ready for that. But Wicked, do you have any shout outs?
I do, actually. I want to give a shout out to the Just Wipe It Raid team. These guys are fantastic. They have worked really hard and deserve this little bit of a break we're on right now. So kudos to you guys. I adore you. And thank you, Cuddles, for having me on tonight.
No, thank you for coming. And that's my first shout out is to Wicked for being here. We were talking, what was it, Sunday? Maybe Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, it was like Monday or Tuesday, I think.
And we were someone asked me, it was Tuesday because I was doing my podcast editing. Someone asked in the chat, so how do you find your guests? And I was like, oh, well, funnily enough, I don't have one for this week. And I had talked to Wicked. I had talked to Wicked previously about bringing her on the show because she's awesome and measures things and sneezes. And it worked out. She was willing and ready to come on, and I really appreciate you being here. And outside of that, like, I mean, you got me my mount. You and Just Wipe It have welcomed me with open arms into your little family. We're playing Overwatch together. Like, we're just having a lot of fun, and I appreciate your friendship as well as your appearance on the show.
And I appreciate your friendship, sir.
Oh, huggles.
All the feelies. All the feels. So outside of that, guys, there is a couple podcasts I'd like to mention this week. It's going to be kind of a podcast heavy shout out since I wasn't in WoW all that much.
But Worgen's Howl, guys, if you're not listening to Worgen's Howl, please go listen to them. They're doing an absolutely phenomenal job. The Dark Moon Herald, love those guys. Hearthcast, Root and Freckleface. They're local to me. They're good friends. They have been, Root especially, has been incredibly helpful and encouraging to me as I'm going through like job issues and looking to, try to find something new. And the Torn Think Tank community for also just being amazing. Jules and Marconin, and everyone that is involved in that community. Also, of course, to my good friends, 2 out of 3 are in the chat room. Although I have to say I would trade them both for the third one, and that is the cast of Epic Fail podcast, Draven Theory and Charlotte, who is missing tonight. But guys, you guys put on a great show. I apologize for not having been there the last few weeks, but y'all rock. Very last shout out, last thing I'm going to talk about. I'm going to do a screen grab. I'm going to throw this up on the screen. Guys, I know everybody does these little like fit for BlizzCons. Like let's do this, let's do that, let's get in shape. Well, one of the friends of the show and a very good friend of mine in real life, who I get to have lunch with and cancel lunch with about once a week, and that is Mr. Squinty. He's in the chat room tonight, and Squinty has started doing something called #Chubby for BlizzCon, and he's got a blog page set up called chubbyforblizzcon.weebly.com. Please go ahead and go check this out. I've tweeted it out over on the Mullet863 Twitter. It'll be in the show notes. But it's entitled Chubby for BlizzCon, the blog, or how I learned to stop worrying and eat whatever the hell I bloody well want to.
I heart Squinty. I do.
This is so cool. And this is a parody of Dorm Destroyer, I guess would be how DRM Destroyer, who is doing a #ripped for BlizzCon quest. Squinty is doing the complete opposite and doing chubby for BlizzCon. So kudos to him. I will definitely be eating with him soon and helping him continue the chubby for BlizzCon quest. So check that out. It's like this is so cool. This is one of those things that happens on the internet, and just Dream Destroyer. I was thinking Dorm Destroyer. I don't know why I went to Dorm. Like she's going and destroying dorms. Like she's like going around to colleges and like, oh hi freshmen, I'm gonna destroy your dorms. I'm going to rip down your Nirvana posters and smash your lava lamps. Well, I just aged myself. I don't think there's anyone at any college anywhere right now with Nirvana posters and lava lamps up. If you are, please write into the show and I'll make fun of you. Jeez, that went off the rails. So guys, this brings me to the part of the show where I get down on my virtual knees and I beg you, I plead with you to leave some of those all-important 5-star iTunes reviews. Now remember, if you like what it is that we're doing here, if you appreciate the fact that I enjoyed Hannah Montana, the movie, the video game, wow, that's a pretty good title. Please leave 5-star review for the Game Case show. If you don't like what we're doing, if you don't appreciate my taste in video games, or if for some reason you just don't like people with neck beards, you can leave 2 stars for I'm your raid lead, not your mother. Just wipe it yourself. A podcast of an angry woman from Jersey that wants you to wipe yourself. So that's 5 stars for the Game Case, 2 stars for I'm your raid lead, not your mother. Wicked, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Wickedella_WoW on Twitter. That's at Wickedella, WICKEDELLA_WOW.
Right on. Well, guys, that is going to do it for episode 46. I went back 10. Before I go into this big long spiel, Wicked, so the name of your raid team, let's go over this one more time before we jump out of here. Name of your raid team is Just Wipe It. You're on Convert to Raid.
Yep.
People can find that team on converttoraid.com/teams.
Yep.
Search for them. They raid what days and times?
Tuesday and Thursday, 6 to 9 p.m. Pacific.
Right on. So that is 9 to midnight Eastern Standard Time. That would be 7 to 11 Mountain Time. I can't do standard.
Yeah, you're not good at maths right now.
Did I mess all of that up?
Pretty much.
I feel like I did. All right. Moving on. That is going to do it for episode 46. If you'd like to join our live audience and hang out in the chat room like all the funny and fabulous people that mocked me all night tonight, you can join us on twitch.tv/thegamecase at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time each and every Thursday. You'll also find me here 6 other nights a week streaming and laughing with most of the people that are in this fabulous chat room tonight. And guys, if you'd like even more cuddles this week, the latest episode of the Converted Podcast is out and up on convertedpodcast.com. And we're going to be doing a live recording of the Converted Podcast next Monday. So check that out over on twitch.tv/convertedpodcast. Thank you so much for listening. You can find me on Twitter at Mullet863. You can find the show at The Game Case Show. You can download us on iTunes and Stitcher. Catch recordings of the live show or tips, tricks, and kill videos at youtube.com/thegamecase, or you can find all of the things on the official site of the Game Case Show, thegamecase.com. That's going to do it for us tonight. Wicked, say bye.
Bye. Go get him. He's got a sneeze left on him.
Game Case out.
Thank you for joining us this week inside the Game Case. Please join us next week for more news, tips, and ramblings about the World of Warcraft. Game Case out.
World of the Warcraft.